Hey guys, welcome to episode 31 of the Ministry of Freedom Show. Today is another solo cast. So I'm going to give you all some updates on my life, update you on some cool business things on the horizon, and then we're going to finish up with me reading you my obituary. So stay tuned. So before I continue, I got to throw this out there. Right before I jumped on here, I saw the news alert that said that Trump and Biden have agreed to debate 2 times before the election. So I believe it's June and September. Now we'll see how well this ages, but here's my contention. I've claimed all along Biden won't be on the ticket in November. I've always thought it was going to be Michelle Obama. I guess I'll stand by that, even though it's seeming less likely. Could be Gavin Newsom or somebody else jumping in there on the ticket, but it won't be Biden. And this is further proof. There is no way they're putting this dude up there on the stage to debate President Trump. There's no way. He can't do it. The dude can't even read from a prompter effectively. He can't stand up there for 2 hours, answer honest questions, even if the format is skewed by the Democrats who are going to be running the debates. So love to hear your thoughts on that. Let me know what you're thinking. But I think it's further proof Biden will not be running. So we'll see. I could be wrong. As always, help us get the word out about the show, what our mission is, and encourage others to join the tribe by sharing the content as you're led. So follow along on my journey. I got a lot going on. It's getting pretty interesting. It's fun, and I'd love you guys to come along with me. So you can follow me on Instagram at Real Jim Moats, and the podcast Instagram is at Ministry of Freedom Show. And then you know the YouTube channel. So as of the recording of this show, I'm on day 44 of 75 hard. It's been a game changer for me. I wrote down a few thoughts on what's happened in my body and my finances, relationships, mindset since I began. So I thought it'd be fun to unpack that stuff. So I've leaned up quite a bit. I've added a couple pounds of muscle, and I can see the differences in the mirror, especially in regards to size and vascularity. So I'm noticing certain differences. I do the progress picture every day. There's certain it's noticeable. It's very cool because it's not so much noticeable day to day, but then if you go back 2, 3, 4 weeks, that I guess that's why they have you do the pictures every day. It's pretty fun to see. I'm getting stronger in the gym, so progressively overloading by increasing the volume and the weight on all the movements. That's been pretty great too. Everything is getting better. Every lift, I'm getting stronger in every movement. I'm feeling more confident while at the same time having an increased humility and empathy for those around me. I'm realizing I used to walk around with a feeling that I was better than other people, especially being sober, having a little bit of money. That really sucks to admit. It's not a good trait. Now, though, I am positive that I'm not better than anybody else. I am perhaps operating in more discipline and consistency, and I'm seeing that everyone has the same capacity that I have. I am just a little more driven, perhaps. I know that right now I am more obsessed than ever with helping other people reach that pinnacle and do these types of things that they're believing they can't do. Through the process, I'm certainly more calm and grounded. I'm less anxious, especially less socially anxious. Shocker, I'm an introvert and I've always battled anxiety, and this program is the best remedy I've ever found. It's changed all of that for me in huge ways. I'm dealing with interpersonal relationship issues more maturely when they arise, because just like in my life, just like in yours, they arise. And the program's given me the confidence, the mental strength and stability to handle these things in a more mature way. I've noticed myself being more disciplined financially. So that's weird. I don't know how that relates to the program, but it's certainly real and it's welcome. And it's a needed change in my life for sure. I am not a guy who needs fancy stuff. My identity is becoming more about the man that I am and who I am in Christ rather than the stuff I have or how the financial statement reads. I no longer think of my huge vision and goals as too big. I truly believe that I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So that's one of my favorite verses. It's in Philippians 4:13. It's given me the courage to share those visions with others and implement the plans to bring them to fruition. In fact, we're going to unpack some of those huge plans in a bit, so we'll get there. Here's perhaps the greatest recommendation I can give regarding 75 hard. There is no area in my life that is worse off than when I started. And I honestly can't think of an area that hasn't improved. I'm a raving fan advocate of this program. Everyone has the capacity to do it and should. Please reach out if you're considering it. I'm going to help you get started. I can use my experience in the program to help you all the way through. I'm happy to do it with you. And if it's not 75 hard, maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's just getting in shape in general. Maybe it's running a road race this summer or in the fall, or you're going to sign up for a marathon, whatever you want to do. I've done a lot of these things. I'm happy to walk you through this stuff. Just reach out to me. So the next thing is my book. Its working title is My Past, Your Future: How My Transformation Can Help Optimize Your Life. But it is subject to change prior to the release date, which is tentatively June 16th. I set it up months ago with the publishing team that I wanted to release it on June 16th because that's an important day for me. It's my sobriety birthday. So I just thought that'd be pretty cool. The editing is totally done. So I have an actual finished edited copy of the book. It just now needs to be, we go to the next stages. So the edited copy is what they call ready for production. And now we shift the focus to design, audio recording, and marketing strategies. Man, this has been a cool process, something totally new for me. I've dreamt of writing a book and going through these steps and working with editors and publishers and things. It's one of those things you want to do. You just don't really know if you're ever going to just do it. And I would encourage you, if it's on your heart, just do it. Just start writing stuff. My plan moving forward, I'm going to do a couple podcasts unveiling a few sections of the book just to give you a little bit of a taste. And hopefully you'll buy it next month. And I want to have guests on to have open discussions about what I'm reading. And I'll try to strategize that to where if it's a section on alcohol, maybe I'll have somebody that can speak to that. If it's an entrepreneurial section, maybe that. If it's fitness and nutrition, maybe we'll gear it towards a guest that can speak to that stuff. But so stay tuned for that. Should be pretty cool. So here's what I got going on. Phase 1 is the podcast. Phase 2 is the book. Phase 3, we're going to be building out a platform to facilitate onboarding clients for a unique coaching mentoring program to help optimize all facets of their lives. So, talk about big picture strategy. So, it wasn't just, hey, one day let's sit down and start a podcast. I've had a vision of a multi-year plan and a growth plan. And the strategy is broken down into phases. So I'm trying to lay those out for you. So phase 3 is the big one that's coming up. So I talk about a coaching and mentoring program that's going to be revolving around faith, fitness, finances, relationships, everything between entrepreneurial endeavors. We're going to build out the platform. We're going to talk about what it means to be a client. We're going to take applications for that program. It's going to be limited to begin with because I want to be super hands-on in how we're coaching and what we're offering folks. And that's going to be talk about getting out of my comfort zone. That's going to be putting myself out there because now it's not just about, hey, I'm going to do some things and look at me and come along on the journey. It's going to be, look at me. This is what I've accomplished. This is who I am. And I believe that I can help you achieve things that you're trying to get done in your life. So that's a whole nother level. Our hope is to launch in this program in the fall. Feel free to send questions or thoughts about that if you're curious and you want to know some details. Okay, after phase 3, so phase 4 is 2025. We're going to launch. So that's going to delve into speaking and corporate training environments, such as session training and keynote opportunities at different conferences, starting with auto conferences and 20 groups and things like that. So while I was in the car business, I did 20 groups. 20 groups are essentially, they have them in most industries, but speaking to the auto industry, they get together 15 to 20 different dealers, finance companies, whatever the specifics are, from around the country, not in your same market. You exchange ideas, you exchange marketing plans. You have a composite book that has all of your metrics in there so you can see where you're strong, where you need to improve. And it's a way to have accountability within a group. You meet 2, 3, 4 times a year, usually at really nice places. We've been at Cayman Islands to meet. We've been to New York City, Clearwater, Florida. So 20 groups are pretty neat. And I can see myself teaching and speaking at some of those. And I also want to be a presenter at some conferences, some auto conferences that I used to attend. So I'll reach out and start making those connections. And the plan is to turn that to get phase 4 rolling in 2025. So we'll see how it goes. So I got a lot going on. It's huge vision, it's huge goals. And there's people listening to this that think, okay, man, those seem ridiculous. That seems crazy. Everything I've ever done of any consequence has seemed crazy when I mentioned it. I got huge goals. If people don't doubt you and if your dreams don't give you butterflies, if you're thinking about your goals and you're sharing them openly with other people and you don't get a pit in your stomach, man, they're just not big enough. You're never going to get where you're trying to go. You got to think big. You can do huge, huge things. And I think to myself, I see other people doing these things. Why not me? Switching gears. So take a sip of coffee before we jump into this one. Gets a little heavy. Here's the truth for you. No one here gets out alive. There is a 100% death rate amongst humans. Our time here is so short. I'm rereading a book by former Navy SEAL Mark Devine. So his book is called Unbeatable Mind. Right there. Mark encourages us to have a huge vision for our futures, which helps us focus and forge mental toughness. So part of the process is writing your own obituary. Sounds kind of morbid, but it's an awesome tool. It allows us not only to reflect on the past, but primarily to write down how the remainder of our lives end up playing out. The purpose is to picture that you built the life you always dreamt of. And then you can imagine your loved ones looking back and celebrating all you did and all the lives that you impacted. Then, after you read your obituary, of course, it's time to get to work and make those big things happen. And he encourages us to stretch in this, to make it fun, lighthearted, but really put some huge, ridiculous things in there. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. So I read that book several years ago, and I wanted to read it again because I'm at a totally different place in life, and I wanted to see how it would impact me. Now, I didn't take the time to do the exercise back then because I would read these kinds of books and think, the exercises aren't that important. They are. So I'm taking my time and trying to do those things. I think that you all would benefit from doing this. In fact, get out of your comfort zone and do it. Send it to me at the email address. So it's social@ministryoffreedom.show. I'd love to share some on a future episode. I can do them anonymously. I don't know how well we could do an anonymous obituary, I guess, but be bold. Put it out there for people. I'm putting mine out there to you. I mean, so, let's go. Let's put these things out there and share it with those that are in our lives and share it with strangers on the internet. What the hell? So be bold. Stop operating in fear and let's have some fun with it. So here goes my obituary. James Moats, 101, residing in Naples, Florida, after living for 60 years in the Omaha metro area, passed away on February 14th, 2073, peacefully during his rest and recovery session following his afternoon ruck on the beautiful Gulf sands. Jim was born in 1971 on a Midwest military post. After Jim graduated from Missouri Valley High School in 1989, he went on to attend 2 different colleges over a span of 4 years and earned exactly 0 degrees, a fact he was oddly proud of his entire life. Jim met Tina McKee during her job interview to work at what would be the first of many businesses Jim would operate. They married 5 years later and would spend the next 19 years married before divorcing back in 2023. Jim met his surviving spouse of 48 years, Allie, in 2018. They married in 2025. Together, they raised Arlie, who the world now recognizes as a Tony Award winning singer and actress and best friend of Taylor Swift. Jim's professional career began in the auto industry, where he would work for 27 years before stepping away, standing on his principles, and venturing out into his true passion, helping others optimize their lives through a foundation of faith, fitness, and personal excellence. This second professional season of Jim's life is the one he was most proud of. With Allie by his side, together they built what could only be described as an empire of encouragement. Jim always believed that wealth will follow the passion and purpose, and his Moats Endeavor corporate entities were a testament to that belief, as millions were given the tools and path to live the lives of which they'd always dreamt. Jim always strived to live a life worthy of imitation and took his responsibility as a man of influence seriously. That responsibility motivated him to live a lifestyle of discipline and consistency, excellence, faith, and a commitment to training and developing his mind and body alike. Jim authored 11 best selling books, including 2 children's books, as he believed America would only survive and thrive if more people focused on the development of its youth. Jim and Allie also believed in using their wealth to help others live out their dreams of becoming entrepreneurs themselves. And they set up several grants and nonprofits to provide direction and funds to bring those visions to fruition. Jim and Allie also loved cats and coffee. This led them to invest in Felius Cat Cafe's mission to help foster and adopt out at risk kittens and cats. Felius' efforts have saved literally millions of kittens and helped integrate them into their forever homes. Perhaps Jim's greatest passion was the discipleship of other men. Jim accepted Christ into his heart back in 2003, the same year he left behind a life of addiction, and has never stopped sharing his powerful testimony. We know that Jim is seeing the fruits of those evangelical labors now, as he is with Jesus and the countless others he was blessed to witness to. Jim wanted a final thought included in this tribute. Write your own script. Otherwise, you'll spend your life reacting to a script written by someone else. Love, risk, train, build, laugh, cry, write, read, encourage, grow, and rest. And do it all to the glory of God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Services will be held in person at the Lifegate Church campus in Omaha, Nebraska, and simulcast to all 77 of their locations around the globe. In lieu of flowers, the family requests donations be made to the Allie Moats Foundation, which provides guidance, love, tools, and encouragement to young mothers. See you on the other side, everyone.